Okay, good morning, everyone. So, my name's Sugi Yamagawa, and I'm just a regular guy VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s. And today, we'll be making mac and cheese over the campfire. Well, actually, we're not going to be, over the campfire. We're actually going to be, kind of off to the side here. And we use our Dutch oven. So, this is actually... okay, so... I thought, and the thought is, I realized that I actually don't have a recipe link. I will eventually update the description below at some point with a recipe link, but for now we're just gonna be I have the recipe written. Well, I have it printed off. It's around here. But yeah, it's gonna be a baked macaroni and cheese dish. This is actually something I've traditionally prepared for family Thanksgivings and things like that. Is what I've traditionally prepared this dish for. So it's usually a pretty good hit with the fam. So I'm really ready to try it out in the Dutch oven. So we're gonna get things started off here the same way we always get things started off around here, around the campfire, and that's with tea. Sweet, sweet, glorious tea. And then once we... Woo! Hey. Why are you acting like that? Having a problem? I hope you're not having a problem. I'm gonna have a good day. Okay. Let's see. This tea warm? Is it warm enough for tea? I'd say it's warm enough for tea. Oh no. I stood up and immediately got hit with a somewhat gratuitous amount of smoke. And I spilled water all over. I'm sorry. That's kinda not ideal, but it's whatever. It's whatever. But yeah. Hope everyone out there is doing well. And yeah, we're actually... So, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on prep. This is actually going to be kind of an involved recipe for me, because there's a lot of steps. There's going to be a lot of micromanaging, and not only micromanaging my food, my ingredients, but also the fire itself. The fire is definitely going to add a nice layer of complexity to what I'm doing. Also, I would like to also state that this is actually the first campfire cooking stream that I'm doing under my solar sail. Well, shade sail thing. Shade cloth thing. Because historically, it's been really bright in the morning here, and it really just hurts my eyes. But with this shade cloth, this is actually kind of nice. This feels nice. This is a good day. This is a really good day. Even though I mowed in the morning. And mowing in the morning is not fun, but we're gonna have some fun. So, let's get started. The thing that we always seem to do around here when we start a recipe off, and that is dice an onion. Which I also think that's a real funny thing, is way too often these streams start with dicing an onion. That is the way we do things around here. So, we're gonna start dicing an onion. And then, once we get the onion diced, we can actually start preparing. We can actually, actually start doing, a little bit more actual cooking. Remember, we do to melt butter. So if I need to melt butter, I should probably start that on the pronto versus the later. Need to melt butter. I think for the butter... Wait a second. Did I not grab butter? But I'm gonna check my recipe right quick before I confirm. with half the butter. Macaroni's, and I can okay, and then I can actually start preparing the dish. Okay, I'm gonna check my cooler right quick. Okay, so I did a whoopsie and I forgot the butter. I forgot to grab the butter. So we're gonna go ahead and get the onion diced, and then once the onion's diced, then I'll have to make a run to go grab the butter, because we're gonna need the butter for some of the early portions of today's fun. Sounds like a woodpecker's having fun. Good for them. Do. Ah. Okay. But I also think I'll probably do a little bit of fire tending after this, because for today's baking session, we're gonna need a good set of coals, and I don't currently have coals right. Well, I have a couple coals going right now, but we don't have a lot of coals. We really want like a real nice bed of coal. I'm gonna go ahead. So after we get the onion dice, we'll probably take care of fire situation, make sure we're all good there, and then once we get that squared away, we should be pretty good to have more fun. Yeah. How's the tea? Good tea. I might have been a little impatient with my water because it's not super hot, but traditionally, tea's been too hot versus not hot enough, so I'll take not hot enough. Okay. In second half. Always fun to just like dispose of stuff straight into the fire pit. Always fun to do that. At least one aspect of doing this where it's a little bit more on the easy for me for logistics, because logistically these are fun. These are fun to do. It's a logistics challenge, especially considering the fact I have to surround myself, because on one side I have fire, on this side I have stream equipment, and then on the other side is like all my pots and pans and like ingredients I need for today. So there's quite a bit of logistics to this, but these are fun to do. Also, it's just chill. It's real chill. I like chill. I like to keep things chill. And also, I'm just genuinely not a high energy guy, but I'm gonna try some of my onion. Yep, that's good onion, alright. Great. Wait. Okay, onions diced. Good news is, with this cutting board, I'm done with it. Cutting board and knife, I can just park. Get it out of my way. Okay. Now, turn my attention over here to the fire pit. Because we got a pretty good little bit amount of fire going, but I need to make sure by the time we're ready to get out the Dutch oven, which is going to be a while. It's going to be a while. It's probably going to be like a good 40 minutes or so. But before that, I want to go ahead and make sure we got this fire going. I don't like to do this to my surface because the bottom of that pot's dirt. Whee! Oh. What? Hey now. You're throwing a lot of smoke today, Fire. So that should help the fire a little bit. Hey, roly-poly, stop roly-polying. Looks reasonable. Wow. I appreciate it if it stopped being so incredibly smoky. Get that there. Okay, sweet. Now I can do a little bit. Actually, I can do a little bit more before I have to go grab butter. Before I go grab butter, I get to this down a little. I think I won't. Ah, perfect, perfect. Yes. Morning, boss. How's it going? It's going good. Going good. I successfully dodged the hangover, so because last night I was bottling this. This is blackberry wine I made last year, and I think I threw a little too much sugar towards it at this, and I think the alcohol content is a little bit higher than what I was anticipating. But after I was done bottling this, I had a little bit left over, like not enough for like a full bottle. So since I didn't have a full bottle, I decided to take the remainder and pour it into 2 cups. I poured one into like I think it's a 12-ounce tulip glass and then a 16-ounce tulip glass. I took the 16-ounce because it was kind of getting late. It was like 9:30-ish past that, and it's like I don't like drinking late because that's just bad. So I did consume the smaller glass, and yeah, by the time I finished consuming that blackberry wine, I was like, it's too late for me to be this happy. It's too late in the evening for that. So I stayed up a little bit longer, hydrated, dodged a hangover, and now I get to watch all this fun, wonderful blackberry wine now sit in these bottles for, I think I got 4 months was what the recipe called for this stuff. This is actually my first time making blackberry wine, so this is an entirely new process to me. I've brewed a lot of beer, but wine's a new animal to me, but yeah. Because so the whole reason I actually even made blackberry wine, enjoying the little, yes, enjoying the little fruits of my labor. Because my blackberries last year did gangbusters. Because I think over the course of last year, I harvested like close to 40 pounds of blackberries. And going early into the season, I was just like stacking like containers and containers and containers of blackberries in my fridge, and I was just looking at them and I was like, I can freeze these. Refreshing, which is generally how I eat blackberries. But this is going to take, like, literally just in terms of volume, this is going to take up way too much room in my freezer, and also I'm not going to be able to eat through all these blackberries by myself. So, well, I'm not into jams or preserves, so I guess I'm just going to have to turn them into wine. So I took 28 pounds of blackberries and I turned them into a 5-gallon batch of wine, which I really love the color on this. Like, I was a little concerned when I had to, let's see. After the first round in the first carboy, I racked it into another carboy, and I lost a fair bit of volume, so I just topped it off with water, which I thought may have watered it down too much, but nah, this is like really nice color. This looks really good. I'm sure I'm gonna be really happy with this. So that's that. I just got to find all the various miscellaneous pots and pans I need. Because I'm now going to start thinking about getting the macaroni and cheese going. Ooh, good choice. It looks good. Yeah. I mean, based off like the tasting I was having last night, like I'm sure this is going to turn out pretty well. And because what I did, I ferment the berries. No, because I put the berries into like a big strainer bag. I'm going to do the process differently for this year's batch, because right now my blackberries have just started flowering, and judging by the number of flowers I have, I'm definitely going to have a good year again. So I'm probably going to make a batch at some point, but I think what I did last year is I took all the berry. I basically like prepped the I got a whole bunch of sugar, dissolved it in hot water, and then I basically took all the berries and I dumped it into that solution with some wine sanitizer. I think, is it sodium biphosphate? There's like a particular like sanitizing like agent you use for like wine, and I use that, which basically sanitizes the berry, sugar, water mixture. And after I got that sanitized, I then proceeded to had to like pull the berries out, and then I squeezed it, which was an atrociously messy process. It was terrible. And also, this blackberry wine is horribly staining anything it touches. Like, all the brewing equipment I used last night is now like pinkish color from staining of the blackberries. So there's plenty of blackberries in them. But I think what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to juice the blackberries, and then take the juice, mix it with water, sugar, sanitize that mixture. Then I can add my yeast, my amendments, and ferment that. Which, that's the process I'm thinking for this year. But yeah, I have been, and it's at this point I must confess, I have been somewhat negligent in my preparations for today, and that is I am missing butter. So I'm gonna have to throw on the BRB screen right quick, and I'm gonna run upstairs and I'm gonna go grab some butter, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Oh yeah, now with butter. Oh yeah, blackberries just stain everything. Guilty. How dare I do that? Oh yeah, blackberries stain everything. It's terrible. Because I was actually thinking about reusing the mesh bag. Yeah, after getting the blackberries out of it and just looking at it, because I had it soaking in a sugar water solution. It was horribly stained and horribly like sugary and sticky, and I was just like, nah, I'm not playing with this anymore. It's going in the trash. I don't like throwing stuff that might be usable in the trash, but for today, but on that day, I had to do that. So, got water. Salt. Measuring cup. So, we're gonna just lightly salt the water, and then we're gonna put, let's see, recipe calls for 1.5 cups. Double check. And I'll also eventually, I'll try to refine this recipe online, and I'll have the link down below. Okay. This is like a bake. Oh, it's 2 cups. 2 cups. Okay. Good. Glad I checked. And I need knife. Maybe. Knife will cut. Hey, why? Oh, weird. Okay, fine. I'm okay with weird. Weird works. You just want to avoid that. That's the joy of plastic bags sometimes. They will split on the side and split on the side. Like, great. I don't want to have a mess. Please and thank you. Be nice to me. So we're gonna just get 1 cup. Whoa. Yeah, there we go. Maybe 2 cups of that. Go on the fire. We're going to be occasionally stirring that. That ingredient, that goes off to the side, and I want... That looks like a thing I can stir stuff with. Okay. So, I'm going to move on to some more exciting things to do if I can figure out where I want to put this cup. Okay. I'm going to let that boil up. Fire here. Next step, I give a warm spot. I don't need like lots of direct fire, but let's see. I know for sure. But see if that's enough space for my container. For definitely being a little tight on space up here, but this will work though. That will certainly work. And now I'm going to review recipe, because at this point what's going to happen here is we're going to boil our pasta, get our pasta prepped, all that good stuff. And then over here in this container, we're going to be working on making our tea sauce. Owie, that's hot. Oh. Oh, the first step here in our cheese sauce is we're going to take some butter and melt it. Because I'm going to be very referring to the recipe today, because the recipe is a little bit involved. So, there's butter for there. Now I don't want boiling. Melt butter. Okay. Now I diced a whole thing of onions because we're going to melt the butter, and then we're going to cook the onions until they're brown. what I think what needs to happen. Oh, until they soften. Okay. And then the next step after that, we're gonna have 2 tablespoons of flour to add. But let's see, how much onion? 1 small onion. Okay, 1 small onion. We'll just hit this with the whole onion we got then. Nice and easy. I like that. I like easy. So, that butter melted pretty quickly. Go ahead. Throw our onions in there. We'll start sauteing our onions. Gonna give this a stir because one of the downsides of how I got things set up is I'm gonna have some really uneven heat, because really the side of this pan that you guys can see, that's basically the spot where all the heat is. Granted, can I move my camera? Can I send my camera a little bit further out? Yeah, there we go. So we can still see. Wow. Goodness gracious, this pan. That a little bit more visible. And then we'll give our macaroni a stir. And I literally do have to have a glove. And because wowie, that's hot. Fire's hot, kids. Fire's very hot. And at some point, I'm gonna stop banging my tea kettle on what is my mic clamp at some point. Go. Make sure to give some good stirring, just to make sure we really kind of get things out. And this recipe gets pretty involved pretty quickly, so I'm gonna really try to make sure. Turn the flour, cook 5 minutes. Okay, and then after that we'll be playing with milk. So after flour will be milk time. Milk. Which I really hope there's milk. Oh, there is milk in this thing. Okay. I've never bought milk like this before, but I just needed a little bit of milk for today's recipe, and because I was seeing like the gallons and the half gallons, and I'm like, man, I just need like, can you just give me a pint of milk? And yep, you can. I certainly was able to get myself a pint of milk. So I'm really happy about that. Because I used to be a big milk drinker. But then, let's see, when was that? When was it? In 2012, we just did not have soda at the house. We completely ran out of soda. And it literally just took a couple of days before the parents like restocked the soda supply. And I was just like, huh. I haven't had like a soda in like 2 days. Let's see if I can maintain a streak of not consuming soda. And those 2 days turned into a week. That week turned into a month. That month turned into several months. And yeah, I just stopped drinking soda for a while. But the weird thing that happened as a result of that not doing soda for a while session was I lost all taste for milk. Because I used to be pretty big into milk, but ever since I did that, I just don't care for drinking milk anymore. Weird, but hey. Those onions smell amazing. So, I definitely think those onions have softened up, so we're gonna go. So I've got 2 tablespoons of whole grain flour, and that's going to go in. That container's done. Off to the side, and we'll stir that in. Okay. Lots of trash truck activity this morning. It's like the pasta's starting to boil, which is nice. Really nice. I like that. So we're making progress there. Okay, so I know, let's see. We're gonna add the milk in, and then we're basically gonna let it thicken. Then we'll add a bunch more ingredients. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on everything that's gonna be needed once we send the milk. What I want to do today is I want to have like the next process. Typical recipe, huh? Onions, whole grain flour. Well, the whole grain flour is just, it just calls for flour, which I presume is to just help thicken up the sauce. And yeah. Whole grain flour is the flour I have lying around, so I just use that. But that's starting to really be good. I'm gonna hit this with milk. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of milk. Let's see, a cup and a half milk. Let's see, where's my milk? Yeah, 1.5 cups. This part of really want to cool this down. I don't want this to be hot, because we just want to, for the milk, we just want to have a nice simmer going. And I'll be stirring that very frequently. I'm unsure if, how much of a typical recipe this is. Just made it a couple times and gotten good results with it. Granted, my current issue is making sure I have enough fire going for coals later when we get the Dutch oven out, but also making sure I don't have too much fire for the processes that are happening right now. Which, milk definitely cooled down this pan really nicely, so. Don't want that to boil. We just want that to simmer. And I'm surprised that actually happened. Surprised I haven't gotten more of a boil out of that one. I almost expected at this point, with as long as it's been on the fire and as hot as it's been. But this is also the part of the recipe where I have to really watch my pot where I'm making the sauce. Very make sure I do frequent stirring. Don't want it to get too hot. Ooh. Tough shift. Wait to eat here. So. Don't be biting me, fire. Yeah, I tried to get that a little bit more. Grab the right glove for this, and also not neglect this. A little too much heat going. So, want to make sure I pitch it. Okay. It's you. Down. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Ooh, nearly. Perfect. You out of the way. I can take this nice chunk. Because these oak pieces, really nice coals later. That's why I'm trying to get those burnt down. Because the maple firewood I've been running with doesn't make coals as readily as the oak does. Okay, milk stirred. Grab another spoon. Yep, there's a scorcher out there around the fire pit today. 12 on. Now I can manage to live with the heat. Cause it's like right in this area. Granted, I do have a thing I'm gonna show off eventually. Once I can stop. I can stop worrying about tending stuff. Okay. Break from that. Oh. I have temperature probe for a meter, and no, let's just see how hot it is directly in front of the thing. Wait, is it going down? Why is it going down? Do I have it in backwards? I have this in backwards. The right numbers. I think those are more, looks more accurate. So, we're just wanting to measure the temperature right in front of this piece of metal. And oh, don't be touching the piece of metal. We don't want to touch, we want air temp. Ooh, 180. Is that 160? It's 180 to me. Okay. So we're getting a nice roar and boil here. Pull it off a little bit, get a little bit of distance. Turn back to the saucepan. The milk is really starting to thicken up. Definitely going to be getting a real nice sauce out of that. I think we're just going to let that run for a little bit longer. Okay, it's like 162, 163. But I do want to use this to check the heat in the Dutch oven when we get to that point. This is the reason why I have this spoon. Oh yeah. So because this is going to make it easy for me to check the firmness of the pasta as it cooks. I don't want the pasta to get... Ooh. Oh wow, we jumped up to 200. Wait. Probe touches the metal of air temp. Does air temp... Wait, did it just briefly hit 300? Oh, smokes. It's times like this I'm really appreciative of this small piece of metal I installed. Yikes, this is warm. Granted, I'm very much looking forward to actually using this with the Dutch oven because I feel like I've been reasonably successful with the Dutch oven. But this is going to give me like hard numbers to work with. So I'm actually really excited to try this out later. But for now, it just tells For now, I just got it set up where it's like the air temperature on the other side of this piece of metal, which is like 200 some odd degrees. Very warm. And also, we're using freedom units because I live in freedom land. Granted, at like 210, I can confidently say that's also like 100 degrees Celsius. I'm at least familiar with the Celsius scale. Ooh, that's really thickening up. Damn shame I can't really like show you guys what we got. You can kind of see it, but it is what it is. So, I think we're just gonna let that cook a little bit longer. And I mean like literally just a little bit longer. And then we'll start adding some of our flavorings. Now the recipe does call for, at the stage that we're about to hit here, does call for a little bit of mustard. I'm personally not a fan of mustard, so I'm not going to be doing it. But for now, I'll be hitting this with salt. Done. Peppers up next. Metric overrated, not bad. I genuinely believe metric is superior to imperial. Good hit of pepper. Granted, one of my coworkers, he's got a... I kind of do like his take, though. And that's... Generally speaking, metric is superior. But Fahrenheit is the best... unit of measure for day-to-day, like, temperatures in life. Because 100's hot, 0's cold. Whereas Celsius, 100, you're dead. Do that. I can't hold my hand there. I gotta take this cap off. A little bit extra. Fine. But yeah. Let me put the cap on before I tell this. Metric, yes. Yeah, Imperial unit seal with human experience. So that's Worcestershire sauce. Please don't ask me to say it right. I will forever disappoint you. Also, Imperial length is more easily divided with... Yeah, it's true. And then for the Tabasco sauce, I'm just gonna be literally just throwing a whole bunch of Tabasco sauce into it. Because this is mine. This is my food. And what I really like about Tabasco sauce is it's basically the perfect amount of heat for a guy like me. Because generally I consider myself I'm a little bit more on the handsy-ish side, I feel like, when it comes to like heat and dishes. That's thickened up wonderfully. Beautiful. I want to turn down that heat a little bit. Cool. Bit more distance there. Then it's pasta. Give it a nice stir, and then I do want to check it. On this of my notes. What's that? Ah, wow. Like really hot. Normally I can handle these. Those are pretty much almost done. That's almost done. Yeah. Okay. Man, just love adding new stains. Tabasco's also a fermented funk you don't get. Yeah. That's the reason. That's actually one of the reasons why it's like recipe-wise, it's just such a simple thing. But it's actually a little bit more, has a little bit more flavor to it, even though it's just got like basically 3 ingredients. Because it's basically peppers, vinegar, and yep, 3 simple ingredients. 3 easy ingredients. Okay. Because I really need to worry about this thing here. Okay. 2 cups of So, what I need to figure out... Quick logistics. The quick logistics is... Done with it. That's done. I have strainer. Boom. Pasta. I gotta... My attention's divided. Owie, that handle got hot. So, for this... The mac and cheese, this is where we add our last bit of butter for the day. What we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take a slice of butter off here. And then that butter is just gonna melt in with the rest of pasta. Butter. And go back to the cooler where it can stay cool. So that's done. Now we can start worrying about sauce. We really gotta make up this cheesy sauce now. And I'm gonna need a cup measuring device over here. Also, I could only imagine like how fun Imperial would be to like cook with. 'Cause I could like viewing fluids in milliliters is like that feels like reasonably intuitive and not like really challenging, but like measuring like cups, like a cup-sized amount of something. Well, I mean, actually weight-based is technically better. Granted, that's more if you're like baking. Okay. Eat. And we'll be discussing. We'll have more discussions about units later because I gotta throw some cheese in here. It's a cheddar cheese. I am going to be generous because I like cheese. Granted, ever since I got the idea to do mac and cheese in the Dutch oven, I was like, man, I really want to do this. Okay. Cheese is back in. Now figure out my amount of Parmesan. Yeah, it's usually based on decimals of a kilogram. Yeah, or well, just straight grams. I feel like, and then a quarter cup of Parmesan, and I can just start. Quarter cup of Parmesan, and getting heated right now. Good stir now. Cheese can start melting. But nothing's burning, so I'm very happy. It does look like the immediate area is starting to cool a little bit. We're starting to kind of maintain a more... well, we're still around 200. Directly in front of the fire. Okay, Parmesan. Cool. That's that done. Now... I'm going to be doing a lot of stirring. I'm going to be really just trying to make sure cheese sauce gets like evenly heated. That good stuff. So that way the cheese like fully combines. Since I have this grate unoccupied, I think that's a pretty good place to park my tea kettle, get my tea kettle off where I have it. Granted, looks like I'm due for tea. Oh no, would you look at that? I'm due for tea. Used to have to write nutrition info write-ups to recipes and Imperial. Nutrition science is all metric. Came across some fun Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna come across some fun compromises there. That is definitely one of the fun things about reading a nutrition label. Everything. Yeah, because generally everything is done in grams. Woo! Yeah. Not burning the cheese sauce. Really good, really good. Really good. Okay. Don't need this cup measuring anymore. And grab some water. Water's really warm water. There we go. Okay. You can be like that. We're just going to cut that. A little bit of room temperature water. My sauce is starting to boil a little bit on the top. Means it's time for a stir session. Brandon, this is getting real cheesy now. Still can see some chunks of cheese, so... But this is almost done. Almost done. Be exciting, because... Once that's done... Ooh. Secret compromise. A pint of water and light fluids is 1 pound. A liter is close enough to 2 pints. You can use that as a shortcut. Ooh, nice. Come across any metric recipes, I'll have to keep that in mind. Granted, it's funny, I don't think I've come across any metric recipes just yet. Granted, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before that happens. Okay. So, things are generally being pretty heated right now. Got really nice creamy sauce here. Actually pull up. I feel like this looks pretty good. Reminds me of queso dip. Yeah. Well, this is just basically making like a... I mean, it's basically cheese sauce. But this is to what we're gonna add our... Whoa. You know. I'm gonna save you. And this pot's done. Yay! We can get more stuff out of my way. Then we get to combine this. Stir it all together. Really glad I got this off the fire when I did. Get it before it got like super hot. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking really good. Let's see, how much do I want to combine this? Combine it a fair bit. So, that's basically mac and cheese right there. But we're going to be baking this. So, I took off gloves just... When in doubt, discard. Okay. So, I do need to grab.
Yeah.
Reasonably close by to me. This is the fun part. And, okay. Oh, I got my shovel. My handy dandy shovel. I like poke around. Find ourselves a nice little bit of coal. A nice little bit of coals right in here. Looks very nice. Take a shovelful. Now I did pour water here. Coals probably aren't gonna like that too much, but oh well. Let's see here. Let's see what. Some of my pieces are still a little too chunky. I could kind of put some of the chunkier pieces on top. Bottom, I need actual good, like, broken up holes. Here's a... Grab that. Actually, one of the things I feel like I kind of missed last time I worked with the Dutch oven was not getting really enough coals on the bottom. So, plenty of coals on the bottom. Try to get a little more here. Then that. I'm definitely gonna have to live with that. Okay. Oh. Hot tea off to the side. Because I need room to work. Which seems to be the perennial issue I have. Having enough room to work. So, take this over here. Grab our Dutch oven. And we will now add our mac and cheese to the Dutch oven. Grab that. It's very warm. Love. Okay. Let's get everything, all this goodness into the Dutch oven. Ooh, this is gonna this is gonna be fun to clean up later. Granted, it smells real good though. Real good. Hey, let's see. Want to get a bit more on my sides. Scraped up. I definitely got some onions hanging out there. Okay. Doodles. Spread this. Basically, what we're going to be doing is making baked acting. So, there's that right now, but we actually have finishing work to do. Because what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a nice little crust for this. I need to figure out the amounts of cheese. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of Parmesan and a little bit of... So, Parmesan's going to be a 1/4 cup. As for me, I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's get like kind of a nice layer on top. And then for the cheddar, calls for a cup, but I'm just going to go for like a nice even layer of cheddar cheese. Sides a little bit. Get it looking really good, really cheesy. One of the things about me being me is I am an absolute terrible fan of cheese. And then And also another reason why we're making actually this specific recipe is we're gonna finish off the top with, well, recipe calls for breadcrumbs, but I have traditional panko breadcrumbs, so I'm gonna use these, and it's also gonna help me use up my supply of these guys, this stuff. So we'll just good, nice layer. I'm gonna be generous because I want to use up my breadcrumbs. That's the meal. That's the meal assembled. And the smoke will not go into my eye for a couple of moments. I can actually see what I'm doing here. Okay, I want you to go to serving plate. Thank you. Excellent. Cool. Oh. Fire smoke. And it's directing smoke right at me. Yeah. Oh, that's why. At some point I should... Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm getting this. So, what I'm gonna do... Get my Dutch oven over my coals. We're gonna kind of change the view. There's the Dutch oven on the bed of coals. This guy have enough length. Not enough. Move it up. Yeah, sweet. Woo. Where am I? Ooh. Dare I do that to myself? So, there we go. Skillet is secured, and currently we have a temperature of 116 in the Dutch oven, so not too bad. That stuff up. Now come fun part. Dump some coals on top. In fact, it's already at 100 some odd, just by reheating it. Well, for today ends. Trying to find coals and get coals, and I'm actually gonna stand up for a moment. Wait, fire happened. Face my feet. Take the lead. You guys beat it around a little bit. Gather them up. Holes fall off the top. I'm take them in. Side. I'm gonna get our Dutch oven up too. I'm gonna get it up to 300. I'm headed to the garden. Have a good rest of your stream. Okay, cool. You enjoy your time in the garden, Dad's old shop. I was about to say, we're now at the waiting point. This is going to be the waiting point process. Well, start of it. And I'm going to definitely be monitoring the temperature. Definitely looks like we're a bit on the cold side. So. I think I'll actually go ahead and grab another pulse. I guess this is just the weakness of not preheating the Dutch oven, because we're at 151. Hey, that's a magic number of Pokemon. Because we're at 151 right now, so... And we're going up. I'm sure it's going to climb fairly reasonably steadily. That beeped at me, and I don't know why. Maybe because it's tired of being on. I don't know. Pulls a little bit. And we'll just let that slow. That should come up. I'm sure it's gonna take a little while to come up, just because the cast iron's cold. I probably should have made a bit more of an effort to preheat the cast iron. Like at least like get the cast iron like on top of the. We'll get the cast iron on top of the fire pit, because then that would have helped it warm up. But yeah, we're gonna now let because this is gonna bake. I think the recipe calls for a half hour. Let me check. Oh, that's why. It's just been on. Been on for a while and all that stuff. Okay, so it just calls for like until the macaroni is hot and the crust is golden brown. Says roughly 30 minutes. Now that is also at 350 degrees. We're at 172, 173. I mean, we're still going up. We're going in the right direction. So even if we're a little bit cool starting off, it's still going to be fine, because the temperature will go up. I pretty much know for a fact the temperature will go up. Because, yeah. So, I got a nice... Actually, I want a pointer. Let's get a pointer. So we got this nice little bit of like wood that's been burning down. I have some replenished wood in here. So if I need to add more coals, I think at some point I should add some coals to it. Then I'll add coals to it. I mean, right now we're already at 180. So as long as we keep climbing, should be pretty good, because we're already like halfway to our final temperature we want to be at. But if we just take a little bit longer, that's fine. Another reason I wanted to have the meter set up for today was the meter is going to help. It helps me know what's going on, but also it keeps me from... Let's see. It also keeps me from having to check the oven, because the thing is, with a Dutch oven, you don't want to be checking. You don't want to be lifting the lid and checking your like food, whatever you're cooking in it, because every time you open the lid, you let the heat out. That's bad. Well, maybe not necessarily bad per se, but unideal. It is an unideal circumstance. So, Yeah, we're gonna let this cook for a while. Because I think... Let's see, because recipe calls for a half hour. Depending on how long it takes for the temperature to come up, I might actually grab some coals to throw around the side, just to kind of get that cast iron heated up a little bit more. We're just about at 200. I suppose heat up. Grab some more coals. Oh, if I got these guys shatter, get some shatters. It's also real fun having to fish around the burn side. On the side. Is that all we're trying to cast iron up to temp. Okay. So we got some more coals going. Woo! Let's see. What does it say? Oh, it's only 203? No, 203. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a temperature delay between adding coals and actually seeing the temperature of the Dutch oven raise up. But hey, if there's water in there, it's now boiling. So we're at least that hot, so. I'm sure what's going to happen is we're just going to just let that do its thing. I might add some like 5 or so more minutes, whatever. We'll see how it goes. I'm not entirely sure how it's gonna go, but we'll just keep having fun with it. Let it do its thing. Trust the process. And then, depending on how all that goes, I might start yammering a little bit more. But I gotta say, I really do like the shade sail. Definitely a really good investment. Ooh, is that 220? 220? Yeah. And if the temperature just if it's a little bit on the cool side, that's not a big deal. Because if the temperature is a little bit low, then we just won't get like as much of a golden brown crust, but I'm not really too worried about perfect. I am mostly interested in learn, because what this does is one of the real nice things about having a meter like this is helps give me like a window into what's happening in the Dutch oven. So excited about that. And to also gain a little bit more understanding, which the understanding to be gained right now is I probably should have preheated the Dutch oven, because a Dutch oven was only basically at room temperature, and I threw it on coals, and now it's gonna take a while for it to heat up, because I want to say that's like 15 pounds, 20-ish pounds of cast iron. And the thing with cast iron, like the tea kettle that's off screen right now, is that it does hold heat really well, but it also takes a while for it to get up to temperature. So let's see, we're at 237, it looks like. So since we're still, technically speaking, 100 degrees off, I'm gonna get myself up into a little bit more comfortable position grab some coals. And then this next set of coals I'm going to add on the bottom. Not the bottom, but the top. Because we're just trying to get nice warm temperature. Actually, I should make my life easier. Hook. Turn. Manipulate. What I should do, get this in and manipulate it that way a little. That helps. Look. Yeah. Go. There we go. Got some more coals on it. I guess it was a good thing to do, because did the temperature go down? We were at 230 earlier. Oh, now it's up, and now it's like 235, 239, 239, 238. 6. Doesn't know what it wants to do. And okay. And I'm gonna add a piece of wood to the fire. Yoink. But yeah, we might be just end up. Ooh, 240. 240. Yeah. We're gonna slowly get it up there. Might take a little while, but Still gonna have cooked food by the end of it. I was wanting to grab one of my shorter handled shovels at one point, because it's a little bit easier to like reach in here, which actually my tea kettle's hot enough. I should make my life easy for myself if I can. Oh, I'm done. Spot. Right there. Good spot for this tea kettle. And then with that, manipulator tool. And what I'm going to do is going to take all this stuff, take my rebar rods, my grill grate, all this stuff, and then that's just going to mosey it. Moseying it way over there. I spy me some coals. There'd be some coals in that there fire pit. I'm gonna get my coals. That way I can get nice up the temp Dutch oven. Thanks. See what? Yeah. Other than snap, crackle, and pop. Ooh. Holes that are close at the bottom. A piece of wood. Them. Remember, folks, you use the right The right size problem. Big old full-size shovel. Awkward. Especially with my cord. Be way too awkward. Oh. Another decent. Throw that in. That heat up. Ooh, wait. 264, nice. Now we're seeing some temp. Now we're getting up to temperatures. Well, we're getting closer to where we want to be. Since I'm here, I got nothing better to do. Actually, yeah, I actually realized I have something better. Ooh. We've hit 270. Getting up to that magical 350. I think chances are, knowing how this is going to work, we'll probably hit 350 at the end. But that's fine. That's fine. As long as we... Honestly, as long as the temperature continues to go up, I think I'll be happy. And that's also the fun thing with monitoring. Monitoring, it's like, yay, I know how roughly well it's going. But it's also like, oh no, I have information. I could... This might be worrisome. If the information is like worrisome, which, I mean, it's not particularly worrisome. I mean, we're certainly a little bit under temperature. But the thing is, at the end of the day, that's generally fine. Fine if your temperature is a little bit on the low side. It does mean that it's going to take a little bit longer for food to cook, and you may not necessarily get as great of a cook out of your food, but at the end of the day, it's all, I mean, it's going to be fine. Like, we've now hit 290, so we're less than we are less than 60 degrees. Granted, that is also seeming like it's going up pretty. Wait, that's one thing with like a digital meter like this, it's very sensitive. Wait. We hit 300! Yeah! Cool. But hey, you know what? That's also another thing is like, I don't have to worry about being too hot. Because when you hit too hot, you start burning things. You don't want to burn things. Burning things is bad. Well. That's T2 for the day. So, time for the final tea. Today's final tea be English Rose. And I can't burn this packet because this packet has foil in it. I'm gonna have to just put that off into my little trash area off to the side. Ooh, I'm starting to smell some mac and cheese smells. Okay, tea kettle. I'm just gonna do that much. And then I'm just gonna kinda just give it a feel. See how like warm it is. Because otherwise, generally speaking, it gets a little hot. Definitely gets a little hot. And fire pit, please don't smoke too much. And it looks like we might be actually holding the 300 chip. And it's also fun when I do the fan thing. I hear the coals like crackling. It's real nice. It's real nice. Yes. Oh, I need to. Well, I don't need to. I just want to get into a slightly more comfortable position. Because, woo! This was a real fun cook. Well, granted, the cook's not over yet. Man, I got a little. It's me. There it is. Get away from me. Ooh. Okay. I wonder what Dad's old shop's got going on in his garden. Hopefully, it's something good. I mean, I actually snacked on a few pieces of broccoli this morning from the garden, and let's see, I snacked on a few pieces of broccoli, and I also had, what's that say? Ooh, 330, nice. Okay, cool, so, yeah, yeah, because we're now, like, within 20 degrees of temperature. This is the point where it's called Let It Ride. The cool thing is, if it does actually end up getting a little too warm, that's a pretty easy fix with just, I can just lift the lid a little bit, take some coals off, you know, do stuff like that. And I wish I did not have as much screen glare on the meter. So, yeah. Fix that a little bit. Ooh, we're at 342. Oh man, we're almost getting into just right. I thought it would take longer. I thought it would take a lot longer to get actually up to temp. I'm actually really surprised by that. Might have to like knock some coals off or something. 350! Yeah. Okay, cool. Sweet. So we've hit temperature with the Dutch oven, so hell yeah. Yeah. But that's good. That's good. Now I do want to make sure this doesn't get too hot. So in the interest of making sure it doesn't get too hot, I will start knocking off coals, because I don't want it to get too hot. Because I was trying to... Right now, yeah, because it's 3:58. We're just gonna be doing cat thing. I can also get a few of these coals from the bottom out. Cut back on the heat a little bit, and then... But really at 362, it's not a big deal. Because I'm not going to really worry about getting too hot unless we get like over... Honestly, really, if we get over like 400 or something. But I do want... Because we were trying to push up, and then we hit our target. I don't want to keep pushing up going past the target, so that's why I took a little bit of a moment to get those coals off. Because it's like... We're pretty happy with this temperature right now, so let's just keep this temperature. Oh man, I love it when the fire like snap, crackles, and pops. Yep, like that. Now, granted, I didn't have time. Granted, that's the story of my life, not having time. But at some point, I will get a dual mic setup. And then I'll have one mic just for my voice, And then hopefully the mic that I'm actually using right now, that one I can actually use for like the sounds, or like the sounds of the environment and such, because I definitely would like to have a bit more of, I think it would really help with the atmosphere of the stream. And I'm definitely a long ways away from, actually, we're working on tea. I want the tea in the frame. But yeah. But let's see. I think I've got like 10 more minutes of cook left on the fire pit. So I'm just gonna, honestly, we're gonna be just chilling, hanging out a little bit. I might yammer. I don't know. Oh yeah, I did mention. Okay, so I mentioned I did pull some broccoli, like some small snack amounts of broccoli out of the garden this morning. But I also did snack on some peas, because the peas are coming in nicely right now. It's definitely one of the things I more look forward to in the garden. Peas. I actually grow what's called Amish snap pea, and it's actually a pea where you eat the pod. You can eat the peas and the pod, and I like that because shelling peas is just so much work. Like, if I just wanted, like, loose peas for something, honestly, I would just go to the supermarket and just buy me a bag of frozen. Because growing food is fun, but you don't want to grow food in such a way where, like, the harvest and then the eventual after processing is just, like, a whole bunch of work. That's not fun. At least in my opinion. And I say this as a guy who grows hops. Hops are no fun to harvest, because you basically have to, like, pick the cones off the vine individually. It's actually a lot of work. It's actually why last year that's literally what I did for a whole stream, was just harvest hops. My temperature. Holy smokes, that's 400. That's what I thought I saw. Okay. So there's an easy way to fix that. If I can, well, easy if I can hook this. And that should bring it down pretty good. Let's see. 360? 360. Okay. Do a little bit more. But yeah, I hear nice cooking sounds coming out of it, though. Man, that's going to be really good. Wait, 400. Oh, I wonder. Actually got into the actual food. A little bit of that, just kind of let it kind of get a little bit of that heat out. That's a nice, like, little visual check. We're moving along nicely. Make sure I don't have any coals in the spot where I'm going to eventually be sticking my fingers. And I'm just gonna let that run. Granted, one thing I was slightly concerned about was burning my cord. I have done. Oh well. But I don't... Well, the meter is important, but this part, this temperature probe, this part, I don't care about. So that gets damaged, whatever. I don't care. Well, I just don't care a whole lot. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I learned what I wanted to learn today, and that is the importance of preheating the Dutch oven. Because once you get... I actually definitely did throw too many coals on it. But that is all fine and good. But yeah, we've got about 5-ish minutes left on the cook. So what's going to happen, well, moving forward, what's going to happen is I'm going to actually take it off the coals, which involves me making a spot somewhere. Who knows, I might bring it up to here. Not entirely sure yet. But I'll get it off the coals. I'll start letting it cool down a little bit. And what I'll probably do is I'll throw on the BRB screen and then I'll go hit the little homesteader's room and come back and hopefully plate up and have some good food. So, we made it through the majority of the work. Now we're just cruising, which is great because wowie, that sun's directly overhead. Because it was real nice and cool this morning, but hanging around this fire pit for this long has definitely turned me into, regrettably, a sweaty weeb. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Still lots of bird activity happening right now. That's another reason why I really need to work on getting the dual mic set up. Get a little bit more of that, like, atmosphere. Get, like, the birds and, like, what... Maybe... Probably better would be, like, getting, like, actual, like, fire pit noises. I feel like... Getting stuff like that will definitely help with, like, the atmosphere and things. But... I'm just a guy who's been doing this for... nearly a year. I mean, I can still allow myself to consider myself a little bit of an amateur. I'm still an amateur at this. I'm by no means a professional. But that's fine. That's fine. I have fun with it. And that's what matters. Having fun with it. Brandon, I wonder if my buddy's actually going to call me. Sometimes he pops in the stream, but other times he doesn't. Because I want to... I'm curious if he actually wants to do stuff today. I just got a whiff of a smell. It smells vaguely like burnt cheese. Well, actually do that. Because that will... Just cracking it a little bit will really help, really help the heat kind of die down a little bit. So, if the weather was overcast, it would be perfect. This would be perfect weather. Right now, it's partly cloudy. And temperature-wise, it's pretty good. Temperature-wise, it's reasonably good. And I'm happy with that. But yeah, honestly, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to talk about. Because I don't want to rant about lawns. Because I mowed the lawn this morning before streaming. Man, mowing lawn sucks. I don't like maintaining a lawn. Because I'm seriously considering buying a scythe at some point. Just so that way I can let some of my yard go to prairie. Hi, Fly Ash. Let some of the yard go to prairie. And then I can scythe the yard, like, let's say, once a month, maybe once every 2 months or something. Some sort of basis, you know? But that's something I am looking at. But, like, granted, you can actually buy size from Home Depot. Granted, I don't think Home Depot carries them in stock. You have to order them online. If you want to get the Home Depot scythe. Which I'm tempted. I'm really tempted by the Home Depot scythe. Because I also think it would just be funny to have the Home Depot scythe. Okay. So. I think it's reasonably fair to say I'm done cooking. So, with the cooking being done, I gotta grab that thing. I'm gonna try and be lazy. Because I'm sitting pretty comfortably in my chair. I need to get it back. I don't want to tip it though. That's the needle I have to thread right now. Like, don't wanna. There it is. Wonderful, the beautiful mac and cheese. That's definitely a hair bit on the overcooked side. But hey, I'll take that. And I'm gonna bring my camera a little bit further down. There we go. Perfect. And with that, so this is gonna have to cool for a little while. Before I can dig into it. And I've been streaming for a little while now, close to 2 hours. I need to take a bathroom break. And yeah, we'll get back at it after the break. And we're back. So, this is still sizzling quite a bit. Sorry about that. I'm now sitting on the edge of my chair rather than in the chair, so I'm kind of on the edge of my seat waiting for this dish to cool down so that way I can dig into it. I definitely have a little bit of a ways to go, but that's fine. I can go ahead, grab a plate. Make sure I have that ready. Yeah. Oh yeah, wait, I'm gonna actually do one. I'm gonna do one more thing to off. If I can find it. Whoa! Hey, you're being a little you're being a little unnecessarily violent. You don't have to be that violent. But yeah, we're gonna do some parsley flakes to finish it off. But that's when I get to the point where I'm ready to serve. Speaking of getting ready to serve, bloop. So this is actually the third time I've made something with the Dutch oven. So these lessons was one, definitely need to work on preheating. Preheating is actually really important. I actually did that with the first 2 times. Also definitely learned to manage the coals a little bit. There's in the beginning there, when the Dutch oven was like around 200, low 300 degrees, we wanted to bake at 350. Definitely looked like it really could use a lot of coals. Well, towards the end, we definitely got a little too aggressive with our use of coals, but I was also seeing a lot of boiling. So I definitely had like enough like moisture in the food to also help like evenly distribute that heat. So heat got a little high, especially judging by the edges being a little bit burnt, but I probably initially, if I preheated, I had about 2 scoops of coals on the bottom of the Dutch oven, and that was probably plenty for the bottom, and then a scoop and a half on top should be fine. If this is still usable, we'll definitely use it again. So for the next thing, I don't know what the next thing because the next thing I want to cook on stream or in this, which it might be in this, I don't know. Mostly because I am debating between a couple different things. Well, I have a lot of things I want to make, but some of those things involve this wood's so violent when it burns. Some of those things I want to make involves vegetables that I'm currently growing. So I am now in a waiting period, waiting for my crops to come in. So on one hand, I want to make some of these. I have a few recipes I want to make, but on the other hand, if I just wait for like veg to come in, then I'll have more veg to work with. So I'm a little undecided on what the next thing I want to do. I will at some point make bread in this. I am thinking at some point we might do sandwiches, and we could do sandwiches with homemade bread. That might be fun. That might be fun because my little prep station here. This is literally just a piece of plywood on cinder blocks. It's not very secure. I've worked dough on this before. It is not fun to work dough on. So I will need something of a more sturdy, like, little table, which, I mean, honestly speaking, it really would not be too difficult to throw some 2x4s on this, and I would have something more sturdy than what I have now. Granted, this would also just become a bit more flammable, because I gotta work close enough to the fire pit to actually interact with it. but I also need to be like a little bit of distance away, and really this size of, even though I wish I had more table space, that is a big thing with the Campfire Cooking streams, is like, I wish I had more table space. I dearly wish I had more table space, because if I had more table space, like, because right now, the table that's holding like the better part of the stream equipment, that's pretty much like half full with that, and this is also kind of where I keep quite a bit of my miscellaneous stuff, or stuff I'm just like, okay, I use this to prepare a thing. This is where I set it. Granted, it does have like 2 levels, which is nice. There's a bottom level where I can park stuff, which that's what I do for the Campfire Cooking streams, is I will park stuff underneath the table when I'm done with it. So I can get it out of the way. It's not like on the top. It's not on the valuable real estate I have. This is the most premium real estate. I have some premium real estate over here. And then I've got semi-premium real estate that's behind me. Generally, I keep all my excess ingredients, pots and pans, cooler, all that actually hangs out behind me. That's where all that stuff hangs out. Okay, so I think you've cooled down enough to the point where we can think about plating you. So I want to. Ooh, no! Don't tell me that happened. Uh-oh. The bottom might be burnt. If the bottom's burnt, that's really not good. Bottom's burnt. Ooh. Then this is gonna be real crusty. Whoa. That seems to be what. That seems to be what has occurred. That indeed it has. Okay, so I definitely had I overcoaled it on the bottom. The inner part's perfect, but all my edges are very imperfect. Whoop! Haha! The glove bounced off. Woohoo! Charcoal. Oh boy, I love me some charcoal. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun to clean up. That's gonna be the funnest part. Clean up on this. It's gonna be fun. Hey now. Woo! Oh, yeah. Well, that is definitely a lesson in Dutch ovens. Let's see. Can I get a little bit more of this? Give me a little bit more of the center. Goodness. Because I do want to set this off to the side eventually. So. Oh, okay. So, serving spatula can go. And that can go off to the side. It's done. It's done for the stream. Oh. Before we dig into our mac and cheese plus charcoal, we're gonna hit it with some parsley flakes. Yay. I wonder how this is gonna like actually really taste. I'm really curious about that. But before we dig in, I gotta finish my tea right quick. Because once the tea's finished, I can go into my cooler and I can grab a thing. Okay, tea's done. Let's get something good. And today's something good is going to be the Summerfest Lager from Sierra Nevada. Since you gotta have a beer with your campfire food. That's a rule. That's a rule. Okay, so we're gonna go for unbiased. I want to try. Let's go ahead and try this. Just a macaroni with a little bit of the charcoaly goodness. That's pretty good. Okay. Now, whoa. Actually, can I just stab this? Can I stab it? Stab. Oh. Let's actually try some charcoal. Huh. Wow. That's actually decently good. For charcoal. Like, I can definitely taste the Tabasco sauce I used in it. In that bite just now. Gave it a nice, like, it was like a nice, like, light spiciness. It wasn't, like, terrible. But that was also why I was explaining earlier when I added the Tabasco sauce, why I like it so much is because, like, it's a good amount of heat, but it's not like a lot of heat. Man. You know what? If I did not, if I managed to not burn this, this would be baller. This would be really good. I'm almost a little ashamed of myself for what I've done today. But, I mean, I'm still gonna eat it. There it is. With my butter knife. I want to try like a little bit of this crust. But yeah. Oh man. 10 out of 10. My God. Okay. Well. I was not intending to commit food crimes today, but unfortunately I committed food crimes by ruining an otherwise really good dish. I gotta say, this, like, if I exercise a little bit more restraint with throwing coals at the Dutch oven, I would have had really good dish. I did not exercise that restraint. I should have been exercising hour ago, something like that. But yeah. So, but yeah, baked macaroni and cheese, done in a Dutch oven, around the fire pit. Good time. Granted, I'm definitely going to be eating a bit more of this. Because I don't want anyone to say I didn't eat it. I will actually, my next bite, get a nice bit of charcoal going. Man. I hate to say this, but that charcoal's just good enough. It's literally good enough to be edible. Be perfectly edible. But what I think is really gonna happen with it is when I have this as leftovers, when it gets microwaved, it'll probably soften up, and then it will probably actually be even a little bit more edible. But for now, it's just I mean, it's reasonably edible. It's not bad, but I'm still new to the Dutch oven experience. This is only my third time, so valuable lesson learned. And I'm gonna eat my lesson. I'm a weirdo. Man. The not burned parts of this are amazing, though. I don't know when I'll have it up on the video. Well, at some point in the video description, I'll try to find the recipe online again, and I'll have a link there. I won't say I will get it done like right after stream, but I'll probably get it done sometime in the next 24 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up today. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. We made macaroni and cheese in the Dutch oven. Turned out pretty well. I mean, I'm reasonably happy with this. Unfortunately, I apparently have a skill issue with Dutch ovens. But hey, that's actually one of the big reasons why I do what I do here, because I want to learn. And hopefully people out there can learn from my mistakes. And oh yeah, that I will also probably add that note to the description when I add the recipe, because there's way too many people. Well, everyone tries to do everything like really perfectly here on like YouTube, and like do it like the cool way and be like share the knowledge and such. But one of my personal goals for doing what I'm doing is I want to just showcase like, hey, you can be an amateur. It's okay. It's better to be an amateur and learn than to just look at all the experts and be like, man, I wish I could be like that. It's like, well, you gotta start somewhere, and I gotta start, and definitely have a bit of a long way to go with my Dutch oven skills, but hey, I have the better part of a lifetime ahead of me to figure that out. Well, half a lifetime, roughly. This might impact the amount, how much extra lifetime I have left, but this makes the current day like better. So yeah. But yeah, let's see. Talked about mac and cheese, talked about what we learned here today, so I'd like to say, wrap things up with thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I had a reasonably pleasant morning myself, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, whether it's day, morning, night, whatever it is, wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you all on the next one. Okay, bye-bye.